name is Renée Bouchard. I am this week's studio visit artist for I Like Your Work. I'm located in Vermont and New York, and I primarily work in paint. I'm currently a resident at Collar Works and Chashama in Troy, New York. I was born to French-Canadian parents, and I've lived throughout New England, including an island off the coast of Maine. I'm currently in the process of moving to Greenwich, New York. I've been seriously studying paint since I was 15 and went to this watercolor school in New Hampshire where we painted the portrait in watercolor about 300 times in various techniques. Those formative years of watercolor transparency has sort of always stayed with me. Escaping the confines of one reality and entering an alternate reality is often where I find meaning within the complexity of the mind and the emotions it houses. I'm drawn to paint for its immediacy, its fluidity, its element of chance, and how it respects gravity. All of these attributes of paint make it the most challenging for me to manipulate. I paint on the floor, on walls, from ceilings, and on tables. I don't work from a preconceived idea of what the painting will look like, but rather I'd like the viewer to gain their own perspectives from it. In order for me to relate to the physicality of the material, I need to relate to the space around me. I work from observation and from intuition, primarily aiming to create a narrative about lost and found edges using color as a machine to create the movement. For the past 4 years, I've been revisiting the traditional portrait specifically. This series of paintings titled Anonymous Citizens has been a way for me to challenge the idea of naming. As I consider what a common or other world might look like, I'm also considering the idea of we versus I. I'd like to believe in the potential for shifting identities, whether that means shifting perspectives from observation of a landscape, shifting perspectives from memory, and even internally held belief systems. This process also gives me the space to unlearn imperialism. My focus is on the relationship of colors versus colors in isolation, which can also be seen as a metaphor for identity when imperialism is critiqued as a system, not an event. I use children's brushes, well-made brushes that I've had for years, rags, my fingers, to make marks. Working in a series helps me to inform the work. They have conversations with each other. Sometimes I put paintings away for months and come back to it while heavily involved in a new series. I usually am working on 10 to 20 paintings at a time, so it sometimes takes years for one painting to be considered finished. In this way, my work is done in a journalistic manner, combining views from memory while painting out of doors, documenting specific moments in time that I can't just click backwards on. I enjoy slowly watching a painting evolve into its own being or monster, as I sometimes see it. Thank you so much for touring my studio with I Like Your Work. You can find more of my work at renee-bouchard.com or on Instagram at renee_bouchard_ and read a full interview about my practice on iLikeYourWorkPodcast.com/studio visit artist.